Charleston Southern, followed by Gracie Prince, the catcher, followed by Raleigh Lewis. Underway. Up high to Ashley Meckler. Comes in. She has started every game. The shortstop, batting .250. 5 runs scored, 1 double, 4 RBI, slugging at .357, has an on-base percentage of .450. If she gets on, she can run. She's a perfect 3 for 3 in stolen bases. In on the hands, this one could fall. It does, fair, and that'll be a leadoff base hit. So well done by Ashley Meckler to get a leadoff base hit against Sophie Garner McKinnon. Marissa Young in her 6th season, couple years to get this team ready, and I'm telling you folks, what a job she has done, coming off 44-11 and 44-12 seasons. And that COVID year, they were really cooking at 23-4 when they canceled the season. So these last 3 seasons for Duke have been impressive. It'll be Gracie Prince settling in now, wearing number 16. That's the catcher. She's a sophomore. She has started every game. She's hitting .200. She's got 3 runs, 1 home run. It's the only home run in the starting lineup for Coach Christy Musser, who was hired on January 2021. She is assisted by Ashley Ercolano and Lily Bishop. This one hit hard and 2 base hits. So Charleston Southern off to a rockin' start here. Back-to-back base hits from their leadoff and second batter in Meckley and Prince. That'll bring Raleigh Lewis, the senior. She has also started every single game, batting just .150, but tremendous confidence in her, Christy Musser has. Just 3 hits out of 20, slugging at .200, on base at .150. You got to believe, though, she is up there to swing it with runners at first and second. We'll see if she's thinking about small ball here at all. Garner McKinnon, yeah, they are ready to swing the bat against Garner McKinnon getting the start. The majority of the innings have come from Wright, 25 2/3, and Davidson, 21 1/3, as well as Curd, 18 1/3. For Garner McKinnon, she's only pitched 4 innings, but getting the start for Marissa Young and giving up the first 2 hits of the game. This will be over to the shortstop, chance for 1, and so it'll be a fielder's choice, runners at first and third. So a good look here at Duke Softball Stadium. At some point, we'll ask Matt McCullough, the best cameraman in the land, to show the flags blowing out. I mean, they are blowing straight out to left center field, and it's 190 down the lines. So if you can pull one, it's nice and tidy and tight. It's 220 to dead center. And with runners at first and third, Duke's going to squeeze the infield in, and that will bring to the plate the cleanup hitter,
Pitch runner on first base, number 3, Brianna Brooks.
Harper Schoenweiss. Schoenweiss, a freshman out of Scottsdale, Arizona, Notre Dame Prep. She has also started every game, comes in hitting .286. She does have 1 double. She has 4 RBI on the season. And again, the Duke defense has pushed up. Zampa, Jennings, Davidson across the outfield again. Gold, Baker, Vega, Tapia over at first base, and the catcher is Freelick. The deliver now from Sophie Garner McKinnon, and in high up on the hands of Schoenweiss. Schoenweiss has walked 5 times, struck out 3 times, does have an on-base percentage of .450, and she also can run if she gets on, 3 for 3. Madeline Lee waits on deck with the count. No balls and 2 strikes. This is a big pitch here from Sophie Garner McKinnon. trying to get that second out, fouled off the foot of number 6, Schoenweiss. Christy Musser took over in January 2021 for Charleston Southern, known as the Buccaneers. 1 out. Runners at first and third, just the fielder's choice at second for the only out so far. Runner going, they fake it, they get it back over to third, and now runners will advance to second and third. We do believe Christy Musser did send in a pinch runner. Trying to get clarification on who the pinch runner is as we wait for Stat Broadcast to update. 1 ball, 2 strike delivery. Really a gorgeous day to play 2. First base is open. 1-2 pitch and a strike 3. Massive strikeout. So now 2 outs with runners at second and third.
Now batting number 15, Madeline Lee.
And that'll bring up the number 5 batter, Madeline Lee. So Madeline Lee hitting 182. This is her 5th start of the season, 7th game overall for Lee. Runners at second and third. First pitch just a bit outside. Home plate umpire is John Hipsch. At first base, Jacob St. John. Over third base, Roger Potts. That's our umpire crew today. Doubleheader Wednesday in Durham, North Carolina. So glad you're with us on ACC Network Extra. And on the hands, popped high in the air, and the outfielders got it. Zampa's underneath it, and with 2 hits, they'll leave 2. We played half an inning. Duke come to the plate. Charleston Southern 0, Duke 0.
Let's see the battery for Charleston Southern. In the pitching circle, number 14, Riley Loffer.
In the circle for Charleston Southern here as we go to the bottom of the first. Charleston Southern at 4-2 is Riley Loffer. Comes in with a 4.77 ERA, 1-2 on the season. This is her 4th appearance. She has pitched 14 2/3 innings. She's given up 11 runs, 10 earned. She has walked 8 and struck out 11. The lineup will be Deja Davis, who will be the DP, leading off, hitting .393, followed by Deanna Jennings, the center fielder, hitting .370. Then it'll be the first baseman, Giselle Tapia, who comes in hitting .462. Claire Davidson also at .462, followed by Anna Gold at .259, Amina Vega at .200, Kelsey Zampa in the 7th spot, Frankie Freelick in the 8th spot, and Jada Baker in the 9th spot. That'll let Deja Davis hitting .393 on the season. She has appeared in all but 1 game. She has 9 runs, 4 doubles, 4 RBI, and is slugging at .536. She rarely strikes out, only twice on the entire season. She has walked twice. If she gets on, she'll try to run. She's 2 for 4 in stolen base attempts. So Riley Loffer, the freshman, digging in against Deja Davis. Deja Davis, a grad student out of Cerritos, California. Marissa Young, assisted by Olivia Watkins and Sydney Romero. Sydney Romero's sister, Sierra, was a superstar at Michigan. Sydney was a superstar at Oklahoma. Little bunt laid down, a pretty good one. Nice play, though, by the catcher, as Prince got up to get Davis out down at first as Davis tried to lay down a bunt. So great play by the catcher, Gracie Prince, for Charleston Southern. And that'll bring up Deanna Jennings. Deanna Jennings, a freshman from Houston, Texas, North Shore senior, lefty, kind of a slapper, has started every game, 370, does have one double, 2 RBI, slugging at .407. Duke did well to get out of the jam to start this game as Sophie Garner-McKinnon gave up the first 2 hits of the game to the first 2 batters, but they left 2 out there after a fielder's choice, a strikeout, and a pop-out, and that's a strike coming from Laufer. Riley Laufer, a freshman listed at 5'6", from Peoria, Arizona, Sandra O'Connor High School. 1 ball, 1 strike, and another bunt. This one will be in for a hit, I think, unless they rule an error on the charging third baseman. But that did go off of the third baseman, Markle. We'll wait and see if they officially give Jennings a hit. It was going to be a tough play to make, so I think they might. So that'll bring up Tapia, Giselle Tapia, hitting .462. As Tapia and Davidson at 3 and 4, both hitting .462. This is the 9th start of the season for Tapia. She's got 4 runs, 3 doubles, and a home run. Another lefty digging in against Laufer. Jennings down at first base, 1 for 1 this season on stolen base attempts. Duke, number 14 in the country, and in short order, as I've already mentioned, Marissa Young has built a nice little powerhouse over here. Duke just adding softball 8 years ago, starting 6 years ago. It was nice that Marissa Young had a couple years to spend over here at Duke to get the team ready. This after spending a couple years under Donna Papa, one of the legends of the game, and then, of course, playing under Carol Hutchins, who was recently in town to see her former player actually knock off Michigan. So, as I mentioned, Duke has played an impressive schedule, and they have looked good doing it, as they've got wins over UCF, they've got wins over Michigan, wins over Arkansas, wins over USF, almost beat Alabama, beat number 17 Stanford, beat Liberty, beat San Jose State. Runner going up, and it's a walk, so it won't count as a steal, but now 2 batters on with 1 out. So Tapia with the walk after the Jennings. They did give Jennings a base hit, so Jennings got a base hit on that button attempt. And that will bring up Davidson. So Claire Davidson, the junior out of Lakewood Ranch, Florida. Her numbers impressive, .462. She has missed just 1 game, 26 at-bats, 12 hits, 6 runs, 4 doubles, 2 home runs, slugging at .846. and an on-base percentage of .517. So now with 1 out, runners at first and second, Duke can make some noise of their own here in the bottom of the first. Showing bunt, runner going, they'll throw it into the outfield, and that should score 2, and it will. So on that throwing error down to third base, that will put 2 across. So Duke with an early 2-0 lead, as coming across to score for Duke is Deanna Jennings, as well as Giselle Tapia, and it's 2-0. So Prince, who made such a great play to get Davis, the leadoff batter, out with a good throw down to first, this time as she tried to find Marco over at third base to get the runner, went out in the outfield all the way to the wall, allowing both runners to come all the way around and score, and it's 2-0 Duke here in the bottom of the first. So now Davidson has the bases clear. We told you Davidson's power, 4 doubles and 2 home runs already. It's 1 ball, 1 strike, now just 1 out. Davidson pops it high in the air. The shortstop is under it, and that is handled by Meckley, now 2 down.
Now batting number 4, Anna Gold.
So that'll bring up Anna Gold, the third baseman. Anna Gold, a sophomore from New York. She comes in hitting .259. She has started every single game. She does have 7 hits, 1 double, 1 triple, 4 RBI. Great to be with you for some softball from Durham, North Carolina. My first appearance, but I'm going to drop by several times, so it was great to spend time with the head coach of the Duke Blue Devils before this game, Marissa Young. Particularly knowing her relationship with Coach Hutch and Jenny Ritter, who I've called a lot of games with over the years. Another former Stars, was a freshman when Coach Young was a senior at Michigan. 2-1 delivery, and it's outside. So after Davis tried to get on with a bunt, it was out. Jennings did get on with a bunt. Tapia with the walk. And then Davidson with the pop-up. That's why we're sitting at 2 outs. And Anna Gold with the count, 3 balls, 1 strike, and 2 outs. That was pretty close, but Gold's going to get the walk. So Gold will head down to first base. Taking a look at Gold stolen base. She is 2 for 3 in stolen base attempts. It's a scrappy team that also has a little bit of pop as well.
Number 17, Amina Vega.
That'll bring up Amina Vega, number 17. She bats left, throws right, hitting .200. She started every game. She has scored 3 runs, does have 1 double and 6 RBI. So 2 outs, runner at first. Duke pushing 2 across on an air with the throw down to third. Late throw in, and a stolen base coming for Gold. So Gold now 3 for 4 on the season in stolen bases. One ball, no strike to Vega. Vega with a base hit. That should score a run, and they'll send her around. Coach Young will make it Duke 3, Charleston Southern 0 here, and we're still in the first inning. Nice piece of hitting there from Vega.
Number 11, Kelsey Zampa.
So they'll bring up Kelsey Zampa. Made a nice play defensively in the top of the first. So Kelsey Zampa is due up. She has no official at bat. She has scored 3 runs. So Zampa getting a chance to bat here. Takes a look at a first pitch ball. So Riley Laufer, again, coming in, having pitched just 14 2/3 innings, giving up 17 hits coming in, 11 runs and 10 earned runs. In this game so far, 2 hits and 3 runs, 2 walks. She has yet to strike out a Duke softball player. It's 8 Frankie Freelick on deck, followed by the 9-hitter Jada Baker, and then they'll turn it back over to the top of the order here. 2 outs as it is, 1-1. Waiting on it. The off speed from Laufer. Nice job by Zampa. As you can see from Coach Marissa Young over at third base, it's T-shirt weather. Olivia Watkins coaching first base for the Duke Blue Devils. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Popped high in the air. The catcher trying to get back and get it. Just a little bit late. Do feel a little bit bad for Gracie Prince as she tried to fire it down to third base and it wasn't handled over there by Marco. Went to the outfield to allow the first 2 runs to score. And then a really nice piece of hitting by Vega to push across the 3rd run here. Runner going again and out at second after sliding through, so that will be the third out, but not before Duke has 3 runs on 2 hits. They won't leave anybody because the runner was thrown out. Welcome back to the beautiful Duke Softball Stadium with the wind blowing straight out to left field. We go to the top of the second. Duke put 3 across in the first inning. And now Charleston Southern will come to the plate with 6, 7, and 8. Charleston Southern started that first inning with 2 base hits against Sophie Garner McKinnon, who's back out there. And now it'll be number 0, Lexi Marco. And Lexi Marco takes a look at a strike. Lexi Marco comes in hitting 200. She started every game. 15 at-bats, 3 hits, 2 runs. She does have a double and 2 RBI, slugging .267. The 0-1 pitch. Inside and low, coming from the freshman Sophie Garner McKinnon. Again, Zampa, Jennings, and Davidson, the outfield, left to right. Gold, Baker, Vega, Tapia, the infield. Freelick is the battery mate of Garner McKinnon. 1 ball, 1 strike, top of the second, Duke leading 3-0. And a little bit high. Garner McKinnon gets the signal, takes a look. 2-1 delivery ready. Strike 2. Two-two pitch. Hit hard, hit foul. Just barely, foul ball. Sophie Garner McKinnon in the circle for Marissa Young, freshman from West Hartford, Connecticut, Hall High School. You won't see a ton of transfers on Duke because it's not that easy to get into Duke. Big time school. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Right up the middle. Handled there by Garner McKinnon. Fielding her position perfectly, and Duke will throw it around.
Number 99, Lacey Johnson.
So that'll bring up number 99, Lacey Johnson, the center fielder. She has started all but 1 game, hitting 200. Does have a couple doubles. Both her hits are doubles. So when she hits it hard. So Lacey Johnson will dig in here. Top of the second, 1 out. Duke already leading at 3-0. And in tight, close, but just a bit inside to number 99. One-0 pitch. And that one does catch the outside corner. Marissa Young going to move some pieces around in this doubleheader against Charleston Southern. Try to build that depth on this team. That pitch was really close to the last one. This time, though, it's called a ball. 3-0 lead. 2 of the runs coming across after trying to get the attempted stolen base down at third, went all the way to the left field wall, scoring 2. And then just a little bit later on, Vega would knock in an RBI to make it 3-0 there, all in the bottom of the first. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Definitely have to give Sophie Gardner-McKinnon a ton of credit. First 2 batters got base hits. This will be another base hit. Could be a double. They'll send the runner around to second. Duke will get it in, but it'll be a double for Johnson, number 99. So Lacey Johnson now, she's got 3 hits on the season. All 3 of them are doubles, and she is standing on second base with just 1 out.
Now batting number 25, Ashlyn Cribb.
So that'll bring up number 25, Ashlyn Cribb. Cribb on the season, 167 on the season. She has started 5 of their 6 games. Charleston Southern 4-2. They had 6 games canceled. 12 at bats, 2 runs, 2 hits. Also, like Johnson, 2 doubles, 1 RBI, slugging at .333. She's only struck out 1 time and hits this one hard. It'll be played by Baker over to Tapia. The runner will advance. So with 2 outs, once again, Charleston Southern, for the 2nd straight inning, has a runner in scoring position.
Number 2, Wesleyan Jones.
So that'll bring up the number 9 hitter, the left fielder Wesleyan Jones, a sophomore hitting .200. Wesleyan Jones out of Waterboro, South Carolina. She went to a prep academy school in that area, and it's fouled away. Jones has started every game, the left fielder who throws right and clearly bats left. So Johnson standing at third base for the Buccaneers with 2 outs here. As you're watching the Big South, Charleston Southern in town to take on the ACC's Duke Blue Devils, number 14 team in the country. 1 ball, 1 strike, 2 out pitch with the runner at third. Sophie Garner-McKinnon ready to rip it. She does. Good pitch down low and away from Wesleyan Jones. Wesleyan Jones listed as a utility player, 5'3" from Waterboro, South Carolina. And the count is now 1 ball, 2 strikes. We saw Sophie Garner-McKinnon get out of a jam in the first inning. Can she do it here again in the second inning? She can with the strikeout. So she's dealing now. 2nd strikeout of the day for Sophie Garner-McKinnon. We played 1.5, and it's Duke 3, Charleston Southern 0.
Duke Softball extends a warm welcome to all of the canine and human fans in attendance for today's Bark in the Park game. Join Duke Softball at all 7 Bark in the Park games this season for your chance to have your dog selected as the featured dog of the game. For more information about which games are Bark in the Park, stop by the marketing table located on the first base concourse.
We head to the bottom of the 2nd here in Durham, North Carolina, Duke Softball Stadium. It'll be 7, 8, and 9 due up for Coach Marissa Young and the Duke Blue Devils. That'll be Zampa, Freelick, and Baker. Riley Laufer, who, by the way, normally wears number 10, had a jersey switch for this game, wearing number 14. The line so far on Laufer is 1 inning pitch, gave up 2 hits, 3 runs, 2 of those 3 earns, 2 walks. And this will bring up Zampa. Zampa, who was up to bat the last inning when the runner was thrown out at second base. We'll get another shot at it, looking for her first hit of the season. And Zampa hits this one pretty deep back near the warning track, and it's caught by the right fielder Cribb. So a long out, really well hit by Zampa. I'm telling you, the wind is blowing like left center more to the left than it is to right. If that ball was anywhere near left center or even center field, it's probably gone. Right field's the only place it doesn't get that extra push from the wind, but really well struck by Zampa. That'll bring up Frankie Freelick, full name Francesca. They call her Frankie. The junior from Lexington, Mass, Austin Prep School. And Freelick comes in hitting 100. This is her 10th game, so she's played in all but one game. Only her 4th start. 1 for 10 on the season. She has walked once and struck out 3 times, but Freelick gets an opportunity here to start this first game. Catching today as Marissa Young is adding some variety to the catcher spot as they go pretty deep. When asked directly about the success Marissa Young has had so quickly, she did say, look, this is kind of an overused word in today's world, you know, that word culture, but the buy-in part of that word culture is there. And if you watch the Duke Blue Devils, you can feel it. If you talk to Marissa Young, you can feel it. She is extremely positive, and I think that spills down to this Duke Blue Devil team. Particularly in such a short time, the success she has had is remarkable. I mean, Duke didn't have a softball program. They decided to start it. They plucked Marissa Young off of Donna Papa's staff, give her a couple of years to get up and rolling, and she has delivered. That's going to be a base hit. So a base hit for Freelick, and Freelick is on. Meckley, it was to her left, and I'm pretty sure they're going to give her a hit. I'm very generous, so I need to say unofficially that's a base hit. So a one-out base hit, and that'll bring up the number 9 batter, Jada Baker.
Number 25, Jada Baker.
So Jada Baker wearing number 25, a redshirt freshman from Longwood, Florida. But you think about Duke, their first season finished above 500. Next season pretty close. And then 23-4, 44-12, 44-11. That is just fantastic. Finishing 3rd in the ACC 2 years ago, 2nd in the ACC last year in just their 5th season in the conference. So with one out, they do give a hit to Freelick. Take a look at Freelick. She has not attempted a stolen base yet. So Freelick, we're number 13, standing over at first as Baker trying to turn it over to the top of the order with just one out. This was after Zampa hit it deep against the wall to right field for the first out. I mean, really deep. Decent lead from Freelick over at first base. 2 balls, 1 strike. Baker hitting .250 with runners on inside. Prince thought about throwing it down to first base to keep an eye on Freelick, but changed her mind. Remember, Prince made that throw over to Marco at third that went to the wall that led to the first 2 runs in the last inning, the bottom half. Where the bottom half of the second, with its Duke 3, all 3 runs coming in the first, Charleston Southern 0. Waiting on it, but popped in the air, waved off there by the first baseman. As you saw, Lewis stumbled just a little bit, but Laufer got out of the way, and the first baseman, Lewis, takes care of business. That's Raleigh Lewis, gets the second out.
Number 16, Deja Davis.
So that'll bring up Deja Davis, who's got tremendous speed. Laid down a really good bunt, but a tremendous play from Prince, the catcher, to make the play down at first base. So Davis 0 for 1 and looks like 0 for 2. So
For the Blue Devils, no runs, 1 hit, no errors.
1 hit, no runs, no errors, and we played 2 through 2. It's Duke 3, Charleston Southern 0. We return. We'll bring you the top of the third in Charleston Southern.
Your Duke softball team will be back here in Duke Softball Stadium next Wednesday, March 1st, when they host North Carolina Central for a Bull City doubleheader. Bring your human and canine friends for another Bark in the Park game. First pitch is set for 4 p.m. and admission is free.
Welcome back to Duke Softball Stadium as we get you set for the top of the third. Duke pushed 3 across in the first, none in the second. Duke with 3 runs on 3 hits, no errors. They've left 1. Charleston Southern, they have 3 hits, 2 errors. They've left 3, and through 2 is 3-0 Duke. It'll be the top of the order. That's Meckley, Prince, and Lewis for Charleston Southern. Remember, Meckley and Prince led off the game against Sophie Gardner-McKinnon with a couple of base hits. Fielder's choice mix in there, a pop out, and then a strikeout for Sophie Gardner-McKinnon to get out of that jam. Christy Musser, the head coach, down there at third base. Just a bit inside. 2 balls, no strikes. Meckley has bumped up her batting average of .250 coming in with that base hit the first time up. And she's out ahead 3-0 here in the top of the third. The infield comes in. Gold, the third baseman, for a quick chat. Baker, the shortstop. Vega, second base. Tapia over at first. Freelick catching this game. The outfield, Zampa, Jennings, and Davidson for Duke. Top of the order for Charleston Southern, the Buccaneers out of the Big South. They've got 3 hits through 2 innings, and so far, Meckley's been perfect with a base hit and a walk to lead off the first and now lead off the third. And that'll bring up Gracie Prince, who will bump up her average. She is now a solid .250 just with 1 at bat, 4 for 16 with that base hit back in the first inning. So now hitting .250. With Meckley hitting above that with her base hit and now a walk. Meckley standing at first base. She's 3 for 3 on the season in stolen bases. So no outs here. Runner going. That caused enough disturbance. That was well done by Meckley to fake the run and I think cause Vega to bobble the ball so they get the easiest out, but the runner does advance, so Meckley advances over to first on a hard hit ball from Gracie Prince. So Gracie Prince will be out at first base, and that'll bring up the third hitter, Raleigh Lewis, who hit into a fielder's choice and split the runners back in the first inning. So Lewis will dig in. Looked like it hit her. They'll throw it back to second base just to keep an eye on Meckley. Lewis, a grad student, transferred from Tennessee Tech. She's from Ringgold, Georgia Heritage High School. Lewis comes in hitting .150. That has dipped after that fielder's choice. Looking for a hit here with a runner in scoring position. Hit hard, and that should be the first run for Charleston Southern. And it will be as Coach Christy Mooser sends Meckley around. It'll be an RBI for Raleigh Lewis, the 4th RBI of the season for her, and it's 3-1. Still just one out here in the top of the 3rd.
Number 6, Harper Schoenweiss.
So they'll bring up number 6, Harper Schoenweiss, the freshman out of Scottsdale, Arizona, and Notre Dame Prep. Schoenweiss struck out with the runners at 1st and 3rd her last time up. Takes a look at a ball there. Schoenweiss with that strikeout. That's her 4th strikeout of the season. She has walked 4 times. She comes in with an impressive on-base percentage of .450. And I mentioned earlier, if she can get on, she can hit. I mean, she can run, rather. She's 3 for 3 in stolen bases. Meanwhile, Lewis has not attempted a stolen base so far this season. You saw Christy Mooser visiting with Schoenweiss. The line now on Sophie Garner-McKinnon, the freshman out of West Hartford, Connecticut. She has gone 2 1/3, given up 4 hits, a run, it was earned, a walk, and 2 strikeouts, 1 double. The Buccaneers with 1 across here in the top of the 3rd to make it 3-1. Great pitch. In on the hands, a little bit of off speed, a little bit of spin. Nice movement from Sophie Garner-McKinnon to make the count 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out. Runner at 1st. 1 run across here in the top of the 3rd. Madeline Lee on deck. Popped high in the air. Shortstop calling for it. Shortstop's got it. That's Baker. So now 2 down. So that'll bring up number 15, Madeline Lee, a freshman from Byron, Georgia, Northside High School. And Madeline Lee flew out to Zampa to end that 1st inning with runners at 2nd and 3rd. As I mentioned, with the wind blowing out to left field, if you can get a little pop on it, you just never know. Center fielder calling for it, that's Jennings. And Charleston Southern got 1 across and a double. So now through 2 1/2, it's Charleston Southern 1, Duke coming to the plate in the bottom of the 3rd with 3 runs.
Fans, single game tickets are on sale now and going quickly as the Florida State Series is almost sold out. Get your tickets today to secure your attendance at Duke softball this season. To purchase tickets, visit goduke.com/softballtix.
Bottom of the 3rd inning, it'll be Jennings, Tapia, Davidson. That's 2, 3, and 4 for Coach Marissa Young and the Duke Blue Devils. Duke with 3 across in the 1st. Charleston Southern with 1 across in the top of this inning, and there we are at 3-1. The line for Laufer through 2 innings, 3 hits, 3 runs, 2 earned, 2 walks, still looking for her first strikeout. So Jennings, a perfect bunt her first time up. She was left over at 3rd base. 0-1 pitch. Catches the outside corner. No argument from Jennings, the freshman from Houston, Texas. Jennings comes into the game hitting .370. This one's got a chance because she's got wheels. Look how fast she is. That's a base hit. That's just pure speed. Wow. So first the bunt, and I mean, it wasn't like it was a slow number down to second base. It had a little bit of pace on it, but still Jennings beats it out. So Jennings is 2 for 2 on the day. And that'll bring up Giselle Tapia, who comes in batting .462. She walked her first time up. So with Jennings over at first, Tapia showing bunt all the way, and that's probably going to be a hit too. It is. That'll be a hit. Runner will advance over to third. Look at the speed of Jennings. So fun to watch. Small ball working here for Marissa Young. A bunt that'll be a base hit for Tapia. So Tapia will improve her average above .462 to lead this starting lineup. And don't forget, Jennings now with 2 base hits will have her average over .400 as Claire Davidson gets ready to settle in. Tapia is going to have a pinch runner. Coming in for her will be Cameron Jackson, the senior from Tampa, Florida. So Duke, after giving 1 run up in the third, looking to get that back and some more, as they've got Jennings standing at third and Tapia standing at first, and Davidson at the plate. Claire Davidson, who popped to the shortstop her first time up, but still is hitting up and around .450 with 4 doubles and 2 home runs. Coming into this game, a slugging percentage of .846. Davidson on the season, she's now slugging at .815 with runners in scoring position, and she's got one. She's hitting .500. That is a pretty good number. She rarely strikes out, only 1 time all season, so this is going to be a really tough ask of Riley Laufer. The pinch runner is in. Cameron Jackson at first. The speedster who started this inning, Deanna Jennings, over at third base, right in front of Coach Marissa Young. So Davidson, first pitch is outside. They throw it down to second anyway. Not totally sure why, because it was definitely apparent that the pinch runner, Jackson, was not going on that pitch. If anything, Prince was at least able to show her arm because that was on a dime. But you need to be careful. They fake the squeeze. Now they do throw it down. They don't take the runner, and without taking the runner, the speedy Jennings will score, and it's now 4-1. If you're going to receive it, knowing you can't get Jennings, you need to put the tag on. They didn't. And now the pinch runner, Jackson, standing at second base, and we're still looking for the first out. It is 1 ball, 1 strike to Davidson. The wind is finally calming down a little bit, but still blowing out to left center. Outside. If you're Prince, knowing that you're probably giving up that run with the speed of Jennings by making the throw, you want that tag made because it was a laser throw. In fact, back-to-back laser throws from Prince. The 3-run lead is back here, waiting on it. This will be under Jones, and Jackson will stay at second base. So the first out is Davidson has popped out now twice, 0 for 2. And that'll bring up Anna Gold, the third baseman, a sophomore from the state of New York, Boston Spa High School. She walked and scored a run her first time up. This one hit hard. It's got gap potential. Instead, it's covered there by Johnson. Johnson will throw it back to second. Good beat on the ball there. Coming from 99, Lacey Johnson, the senior. Transfer from Abilene Christian from Marion, South Carolina. Really nice beat for Lacey Johnson for the second out. And that'll bring up Vega, Vega had an RBI and a base hit back in that first inning. This after 2 runs scored on the throwing error from the catcher down to the third baseman to make it 2-0. And then Vega with an RBI to make it 3-0. Off speed all the way there from Laufer. Vega doesn't bite. So Vega, with that RBI in the first inning, now has 7 on the season. Tapia and Davidson came in with 7 as well. And Vega has bumped her average up to 226. She's hitting 250 with 2 outs and 231 with runners in scoring position. She's got one out there at second base. She's a free swinger. She has struck out 9 times. And she's behind in the count 0-2 here. Waits on it. Pretty good rip, but handled there by Jones. So good play in the outfield. But the Duke Blue Devils get 1 run on 2 hits and no errors. They have played 3 here in Durham in game number 1. It's Duke 4, Charleston Southern 1.
Hey fans, now would be a great time to stop by the concession stand located on the first base side of the concourse. Trident Provisions Concessions features a wide variety of food options. You can top it all off with a refreshing Coca-Cola, the official soft drink of the Blue Devils. While you're up there, make sure to stop by the Duke Stores tent on the third base side of the concourse so you can show your Blue Devil pride by wearing officially licensed Duke merchandise. Attention fans, new pitcher in the circle for the Blue Devils, number 15, Lily Walker.
So we got a new pitcher here for Duke as we start the 4th inning, and Duke leading 4-1. It'll be Lily Walker, who has pitched just 1 inning on the season. So Lily Walker in that 1 inning, he's given up 2 hits, does have 1 strikeout, has not given up a run. So we welcome Lily Walker into the game, and we give you the final line. Well, may not be the final line because Garner McKinnon can come back in, but right now 3 innings pitched for her, 4 hits, 1 run, 1 earned, 1 walk, 2 strikeouts, 1 double. So new pitcher, Walker in the circle. As Charleston Southern comes to the plate here, top of the 4th inning, it'll be Marco, Johnson, and Cribb. That's 6, 7, and 8. Off-speed pitch and a good one. Lily Walker, a junior out of Oklahoma, did not play in 2021, so could have as many as 2 years left. Crossed for a strike. 2022, 2.56 ERA in 11 appearances. She struck out 6 and walked 4 and held batters to 228 average. Off to a good start out in front, 0-2. Purpose pitch there, a little low. Duke with 3 in the first, 1 in the third for their 4 runs. Charleston Southern got 1 in the third, just an inning ago. And nice start for Walker. Comes off the bench To her credit, Marissa Young told me that I would see Lily Walker in this game, so I felt like this game is pretty well scripted by Marissa Young, the 6-year head coach. As I mentioned, the former Michigan superstar pitcher. And that'll bring up Johnson. So Lacey Johnson wearing number 99. She ripped a double her first time up. Of course, that was not against Lily Walker. That was against Sophie Garner-McKinnon. Gold over third base with her jersey all dirty already. You got to love it. 2 balls, no strikes to Johnson. Off-speed pitch, right at the knees, cross for a strike. So the lefty Walker from Inola, Oklahoma. 2 balls, 1 strike, 1 out pitch. Back up the middle. Second baseman is there. Gets her glove on it, but that'll be a base hit. As good hustle running down the line is Lacey Johnson with a 1-out single. That'll be the 5th hit of the game for Charleston Southern and the Buccaneers. So it looks like some defensive changes here as Duke is going to take Vega out. See what they did there. So Vega started the game at second base, and now into the game is Julia Boyette at second base, wearing number 21. So Vega couldn't quite handle that one, so Marissa Young makes a change at second base. This will be Ashley Cribb. She grounded out to the shortstop Baker her first time up. Her first time facing Walker. Walker keeps it low. So now it's Zampa, Jennings, and Davidson across the outfield. Gold, Baker, now Boyette, and Tapia across the infield. So the instant change there from the head coach, Marissa Young, for the Duke Blue Devils. One ball, 1 strike, 1 out pitch. Off speed, new second baseman. There's 1, over to first for 2. Wow. Marissa Young makes the change. Boyette comes in and starts out turning 2. Marissa Young not messing around. We played 3.5. It's Duke 4, Charleston Southern 1.
Hey fans, join Duke Softball when they host Notre Dame for a 3-game series to strike out cancer, March 3rd through 5th. Duke Softball will raise funds and awareness for breast cancer, pediatric cancer, and leukemia throughout the weekend. Admission is free to cancer fighters, survivors, with promo code StrikeOutCancer. First pitch is set for Friday, March 3rd at 6 p.m. To purchase tickets for the series, visit goduke.com/softballtix.
Welcome back to the Duke Softball Stadium on the campus of Duke here in Durham, North Carolina. The wind starting to pick up again out toward left and left center. Duke coming to the plate here in the bottom of the fourth. They're up 4-1 over Charleston Southern. Duke, the number 14 team in the country, has faced a brutal schedule, as it'll be Zampa followed by Freelick, Baker, 7, 8, 9 in the Duke lineup, but really no major holes in this Duke lineup. Riley Lawfer stays out there in the circle for head coach Christy Musser. That's one ripped hard, and it'll get through the shortstop. And a good hit there by Zampa. So Zampa is on with, I believe, folks, her first hit of the season. So well done by Zampa, who, if you remember, hit it deep out to right field her first time up. So she's 1 for 2. And that'll bring up Frankie Freelick. Frankie Freelick had a base hit back in the second. So wearing number 13. She's now 2 for 11 on the season. Saw the big lead coming from Zampa. Zampa 0 for 1 in stolen base attempts. Cross for a strike there from Riley Lawfer. Lily Walker in relief in the fourth for Sophie Garner-McKinnon. 2 pitchers already for Duke. Still just 1 for Charleston Southern, with Duke leading 4-1 here in the bottom of the fourth. This one hit high in the air. Not quite deep enough, though. Underneath it is the left fielder, Jones. And Zampa will retreat to first base, so now 1 down with 1 on. And that'll bring the number 9 hitter, Jada Baker, to the plate before turning it over to the top of the order. Jada Baker, a redshirt freshman from Longwood, Florida, Lyman High School. She popped out to the first baseman her first time up, looking for her first hit of the game. Baker came in appearing in 7 games on the season. All 7 of those games were starts. She's now officially 3 for 13 on the season. Does have a couple doubles. Has an on-base percentage that will work coming into this game of .308. 1 out. Runner at first is Zampa, who had a base hit her first of the season. Bottom of the fourth, 4-1 Duke. And that'll be a base hit. And right now you see Coach Marissa Young holding up Zampa with runners at first and second. And the speed of Davis and Jennings, top of the order, come to the plate now for Duke. So Davis, wearing number 16, came into this game hitting .393 with 4 doubles and came in slugging .536. She's 0 for 2 on the day. First time tried to bunt, was thrown out at first. Second time hit it to the first baseman without much power. Runners at first and second with 1 out. Because of that 1 out, I'm thinking no small ball in this place, but you need to remember the speed with Davis and then Jennings behind her in the hole. It can fly. Now it's just a matter of moving Zampa and Baker in front of them around. At the moment, not one time so far has Davis showed bunt, and she's out in front 2-0, probably taking here. That's way outside, 3-0. Great dig by Prince, the catcher for the Buccaneers. And after digging that one out, Prince is going to go talk to the youngster, Riley Lawfer. Again, normally listed as number 10. We're number 14 today, the freshman from Peoria, Arizona, and Sandra O'Connor High School. Jones, Johnson, and Cribb across the outfield. Markle, Meckley, Lee, and Lewis across the infield. Prince, who has featured prominently in this game behind the plate, catching Lawfer, and She just went out for a little visit here with the count at 3-0 and 1 out, runners at first and second. And the dangerous Jennings. I mean, these first 4 batters for Duke, Davis 393 coming in, Jennings 370. And that was ball 4, so now bases loaded for Jennings. At the moment, Christy Musser not making a move. She's assisted by Ashley Ercolano and Lily Bishop. Ashley Ercolano played at UCal Riverside and then finished at San Diego State. Lily Bishop started at Grand Canyon, finished at NC State, just down the road.
Pinch hitting for the Blue Devils, number 3, Kelly Torres.
All right, so we got a pinch hitter here. So it'll be Kelly Torres, the junior from Fort Lauderdale, Florida, American Heritage, who comes in hitting .320. She is hitting .375 with runners in scoring position. Good opportunity here with the bases loaded. With runners on, she's hitting .267. She's got a slugging percentage of .640. She's got power, 2 doubles, 2 home runs. She has struck out only 4 times. So Kelly Torres with a big opportunity here. That was a beautiful pitch. Somehow just missed. Laufer wasn't sure about that one. Neither was I. It's 2-0. So how about Marissa Young? Despite the fact that Jennings is hitting up and around near 400 with the bases loaded, liked her options with Torres, and Torres is way out in front, 3-0. And she'll take a free pass and a free run here. So 3-0, it'll be interesting to see if Marissa Young has the take sign on or if Torres has free reign here. 3-0 pitch. You got to figure Laufer's going to groove one in here. She does. And Torres did have free reign to try to send one out with the wind now blowing out directly to left center. Straight at the Duke softball scoreboard where it says Duke 4, Charleston Southern 1. We're in the bottom of the 4th. 1 out, bases juiced here. The pinch hitter, Kelly Torres, 3-1. And now she will walk and score a run. She'll get an RBI for that. And it's now 5-1 Duke. As Zampa, with her first hit of the season, will come around and score. And for Zampa, that'll be her 4th run of the season. And with the bases loaded, that'll bring up Giselle Tapia.
Returning to the game, pinch runner on first base, number 10, Deanna Jennings.
So Deanna Jennings, who just got pinch hit for, will now pinch run with that great speed. So Torres does her job. It goes back to the dugout. So now you got Baker over at third, Davis at second, and now Jennings at first with Tapia coming to the plate. Tapia has walked and a base hit, so Tapia has bumped her average up closer to 500 as she is now 13 for 27 on the season with 3 walks and just 3 strikeouts. Tapia with 7 RBI, and she's got 3 ducks out there. Still just 1 out. Laufer, after walking the pinch hitter Torres, shakes that off, and a first pitch strike to Tapia. The 0-1, 1 out pitch. Laufer ready. Looked like it was a little bit out of the strike zone. Tapia takes a rip at it, the senior from Long Beach, California. So again, just reminding you that Jennings is at first base with all kinds of speed. Waiting on it, that's down the line, handled there by the right fielder Jones. Tagging up and scoring is Baker, and it's now 6-1. Duke on top with runners at first and second and 2 outs. And that'll bring up number 7, Claire Davidson. So an RBI coming off the bat of Tapia. Sacrifice fly is how I think they'll rule that. So she'll continue to have that average up around 500. She was 481 before that swing. So runners at second and third. Claire Davidson, like Tapia, came into this game hitting .462. And takes a look at a strike. Duke got 3 in the first, 1 in the third. They've added 2 more here in the fourth for a 6-1 lead. One ball, one strike. And another ball that was low but caught the corner. And 1 ball, 2 strikes. Davidson popped out to the shortstop and flew out to the left fielder. 0 for 2. Her average is now at .429. On the season, though, she's been clutch. With runners in scoring position, she has 1. She's hitting .444. With 2 outs, she's hitting .400. With a runner on, she's hitting .364. So, decent stick at the plate. That was outside. That was close based on the strike zone of late from the home plate umpire John Hipsch. But now we got a full count with 2 outs, runners at first and second. Duke has pushed 2 more across here in the bottom of the fourth. They got a 5-run lead. Full count. Big hitter at the plate in Davidson. Fouled away. Davis at second. Jennings at first. They can fly. So if Davidson can find any kind of gap, I have been impressed with the Charleston Southern outfield. They have had a beat on every hard hit ball for Duke. They have been on it. Talking about Jones in right, Johnson in center, and Cribb. Jones in left, rather, and Cribb in right. Jones, Johnson, Cribb. Better said, across the outfield, left to right. Markle, Meckley, Lee, Lewis. And it's been the very busy catcher, Prince, trying to take care of her pitcher, Riley Laufer, who has given up 7 hits, 6 runs. Still looking for her first strikeout. And it remains full count. If you're wondering about Davidson, good luck. I mean, she has started every game but 1, and she has struck out just 1 time. She does not strike out very often, folks. Runners at first and second. This one hit hard, hit deep, down the line, and a 3-run home run for Davidson. Davidson, home run number 3, pushed it out where the wind is blowing out, and 3 RBI. And Duke now has opened this up in the bottom of the fourth. They got a 9-1 lead. They're at that magical 8-run number that you need through 5 innings. And Davidson pushes across her 3rd home run of the season. And we'll see if Charleston Southern's going to make a change or if they'll stay with the same lineup. Laufer's still out there. Great piece of batting. I told you Davidson didn't strike out. Got that pitch on the outside corner and lofted it over the left field wall. It's 190 down the lines, and with the wind blowing straight out, Good piece of hitting there by Davidson. Laufer comes back with an off-speed pitch, trying to fool Anna Gold. That's just a little bit high. Anna Gold walked and scored in the first. Flew out to Johnson, the center fielder, her second time up. 0 for 1 on the day, hitting .250 on the season. She also doesn't strike out a ton. Only 4 strikeouts on the season. She's got 4 RBI. This one hit out to the left fielder, but not before Duke pushes 5 more runs across. Duke now with 9 runs on 8 hits. They've left 2. We've played 4 innings, and it's Duke 9, Charleston Southern 1. Garner McKinnon started. Now out for her second inning is Lily Walker, as it'll be 9 in the top of the order for Charleston Southern and Christy Muster's team. And they've got a little wood to chop here. They need to get 1 across to extend this game. Walker, who gave up 1 hit but struck out 1 in her 1 inning so far in relief of Sophie Garner McKinnon, faces Jones. First pitch is low. Wesley Jones struck out against Sophie Garner McKinnon. That was back in the second. Jones came in with a batting average of 200. That has dipped. She's now 2 for 11 with that strikeout. It was her 4th strikeout of the season, and that's a strike right there. So it will be Meckley and Prince who have a couple hits due up next, the top of the order for Christy Musser and the Buccaneers. But it's the top of the 5th with Duke leading 9-1. Up the middle, shortstop's got it, plants her foot, and safe at first base. Really good hustle down the line. That's the right call. Jones with a base hit, turning it over to the top of the order with a chance to try to extend this game. Decent effort by Baker, but great hustle down the line from Jones. So that'll bring up Ashley Beckley, who's got a base hit and a walk. She scored a run in the 3rd, the only run of the game, as Meckley 1 for 2 on the season. Now 5 for 17. Jones is 3 for 3 in stolen base attempts, so she is not afraid to go. And down 9-1, you almost don't have anything to lose here. However, with Meckley and Prince showing that they've been able to put the bat on the ball, perhaps you don't want to risk it. We'll see. Prince, the catcher, waiting on deck. 2 balls, no strikes. Off-speed pitch, beauty. Now the wind is picking up again, directly out to left field. Prince on deck does have a home run. Meckley does not. Not a high-powered home run hitting team, the Buccaneers. Fouled away on the check swing from Meckley, and she was not happy about it. The grad student, by way of Coker, Meckley. Ashley Meckley, with Jones standing down on first base and pretty good speed. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Foul ball. Nice big shot here of this beautiful field. Duke Softball Stadium right next to the field hockey field. Great little stadium. Great place to enjoy a doubleheader, and that's what we'll bring you today. Duke and Charleston Southern. ACC and Big South. Off-speed pitch. Nowhere to go. That's 1 out. Really good job by Lily Walker to respond to get the leadoff hitter with a strikeout.
Number 16, Gracie
Only
Prince.
her 4th strikeout of the season for Meckley. 3rd strikeout of the season and 2nd in this game for Walker. So here's Gracie Prince. Prince has a base hit and has grounded out to the second baseman for her 2 outs. Neat little dig by Frankie Freelick, getting the start at catcher for Coach Marissa Young. Marissa Young with 4 kids, Braylon, Layla, Jolena, and Caden. All of them great athletes. One ball, 1 strike, 1 out. Duke, if they can avoid a run here, 2 outs away from taking game 1. I think we got a ball on the field. Nope, the bullpen door was open. A 3-run home run by Claire Davidson has made it an 8-run game, which is that magic number to end a game after 5. And with 1 ball, 2 strikes, and 1 out, Sophie Garner McKinnon went the first 3. Now Lily Walker did the 4th. And she's out here to try to wrap it up here in the top of the 5th. Waiting on it, and then waiting on it, and still waiting on it was Prince, who was able to foul it away. Nasty off-speed pitch there from Lily Walker. Zampa, Jennings, and Davidson left to right across the outfield. Walker, 1 ball, 2 strike, 1 out. Pitch, and fouled away. The infield, Gold, Baker, Boyette, who came on and turned a double play, as really impressed by that move. Marissa Young as she saw Vega make an error, immediately said, Vega, why don't you come over, sit here? I still believe in you, still count on you, but let's get Boyette out there. And she turned 2. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 1 out. Once again, not only off speed, but an off-speed spinner that is really tricky. And as I mentioned earlier, the Wright and Davidson, along with Kurd, get the majority of the innings. So to see these two perhaps try to put together the win here would be impressive. Hit sharply down to third base, over to second for the out. What a play. Phenomenal play by Gold, as Gold sends it over to Boyette. What a play. Getting the lead runner. I wasn't sure about that, as she had to turn her hips to make the throw. I didn't know if she was going to step into it and go all the way across to first, but a brilliant play. And now Duke just 1 out away from wrapping up game number 1, courtesy of the 8-run rule. And they've got a chance as the number 14 team in the country to improve their record to 8-3 on the season. Fouled away there by Lewis. Duke has won 4 in a row under Marissa Young, now in her 6th season. Christy Musser in her 3rd season. They're 4-2. They did lose their last game. 0-1 now to Lewis. Third baseman's got it, and that'll do it. So Duke takes game 1 courtesy of the 8-run rule and improves their record to 8-3. So Duke gets 9 runs on 8 hits, no errors. They leave 2. Charleston Southern gets 1 run on 6 hits, 2 errors. They leave 4. Duke, the number 14 team in the country, will improve to 8-3. Charleston Southern will fall to 4-3. We'll have Game 2 right here from ACC Network Extra in just about a half an hour. Once again, the score of Game 1 in 5 innings. Duke 9, Charleston Southern 1.